Hello guys, welcome to Linguistics Olympiad video 2, I guess. Today we'll be covering solution writing and some parts of it because solution writing essentially in Linguistics Olympiad is the most important part. It's the actual linguistics part that you're writing on the paper. Uh, uh, in linguistics olympiad you'll probably score more points writing the solution itself rather than the tasks you had been assigned, as I had talked in the previous video. So let's follow the book and see what it has to tell us. In the IOL, that is our target, it is written that you must write the solution, uh, that is the rules that you have found while answering the solution. And say even if you have written all the tasks correctly, you won't get full answers until and unless your solution is on the point and 100% matches. So it's quite difficult to get a full on full in a linguistics problem. So when we're writing a solution, we shouldn't write like a proof. Like from this, we can see that this x is equal to y. It should be more like this word means this word, which is usually used as equal to assignment operator. So as it's written here, we need to use tables, graphs, and make it like as easy to read as possible, so that the person who's checking our solution thinks that we clearly know the answer, and there's no need to put their mind into it, and it's easy, just put a tick, give the marks, and go. We have to explain all the rules and phenomena, abbreviations, blah blah. And then while writing the solution, we should of course not write everything, every single word what it means, because you're not writing a proof once again of 2 3 pages. You need to make it as short as possible, as crisp as possible, while also putting the scope of getting full marks. And as I said, not using connectors, this is quite important because personal experiences, I've done this a lot, as well as the dictionary thingy. So keep those two in mind. uh, Now, my bad. uh, so Now, as of the second thing I said, the dictionary thing, we should not write the meaning of every single word. First thing, it would confuse us a lot while writing the solution of what actually is the solution. And because the dictionary and the solution are very different, the solution is actually the rules of the language, while dictionary is just the vocabulary. So you're not actually doing linguistics, you're just matching problems. So yeah, so it doesn't, you should not write dictionary. You should have a dictionary to use while solving it, but don't don't write it on as a solution. As it's written, dictionary is just nouns, pronouns, adverbs. Yeah, you can write verbs because they usually have form changes in morphology, verb phrase morphology, and syntax. So yeah, verbs you won't count as dictionary usually. uh, so the rules may include how the gender changes, how morphemes, the smallest unit of meaning, are added, the sentence formation, say, the base system, say, a lot of things. We'll cover these, don't worry about the theory at all. So let's just look at a very, very simple problem. It's Turkish here. So I've already made the color, so we don't have to put too much of our brain in. It was very simple. You just have to match the nouns, the proper nouns. So as you can see, father was Baba, and N was just, by matching these you just get. So I've just colored them. You can see as per your conveniences. So from this we can observe that Baba means father. M as a prefix uh, just means my. N as a prefix just means your singular, which means that when with the second person, there's only one second person. That's the best I can explain. Mez is R as a prefix. Kd is cat, of course, and Kd is cat. But if you see this now, when it has his, there is nothing here. There is nothing. So we call this a null morpheme. it means that it does not exist, but it does carry a meaning. So it means that nothing is used as a prefix. It's his, or her, whatever. We don't have enough data for that. So it's his. Now, as the rule is, uh, oh, my bad. It's suffixes. My bad. It was suffixes. The not prefixes. My bad, guys. So the clearly it's written in the solution as I've underlined, as I just explained. Of course, m as a suffix was my blah blah, and this is used to represent the null morpheme. So don't get confused if you see this. It just means null morpheme. uh, an explanation to this is also written, which you can see uh, now. So this can be written more simply so that the person who's reading a solution knows we know linguistics. So my can simply be written as first person singular. um, your singular can be written as second person singular, of course, and R can be written as first person plural. That means me talking to, referring to a group, and his can simply be written as third person singular. So this makes it very easy. And the simplest now way to write is this, the table. So this is the most easiest way you can write. This is what you should write. This is just a process that we're going, but ideally when you're plotting things you should go for this kind of approach. uh Now another thing, now it's more of a syntax thingy. So now you find this. Once again, I've highlighted everything, so we don't have to get into the details. Now husband is marido. Runs, there's only one. We find that tu is your singular, so only core is left, so core is probably runs. Then same, l is he, ve is sees, tu your marido, husband, me is my, novio is boyfriend, ve is sees, and l is him. Now we observe an a here. We don't know what a here is, because we might put a guess on it, because these the first sentence is a transitive, is a not intransitive sentences. An intransitive sentence is basically when there is no object. So there is usually it's a possessor and a possessed, right? So there is only the possessor. So certain verbs support intransitiveness, like runs. Now you can say your husband runs in the garden, but even if you say your husband runs, it also makes sense. But for sees, you need to have an object to tell that what is the subject seeing. He's not seeing every random things, right? You can't just say he sees, because yes, you can say I see as a term in while chatting, but no, it doesn't matter here. So yeah, we can say that is a particle, basically a letter that comes before an object. So yeah, now how do you write this? It's basically subject verb object. So there are like it's we might you might have learned subject and predicate while in school, or possessor or possess. So it's basically a simpler way of writing this. There's a subject in a sentence, a verb in a subject sentence, and an object in a sentence. So it's just mixing and matching. Like English is subject verb object. I is the subject, eat is the verb, and food is the object. So I eat food, the SVO. But say in Hindi, मैं is a subject, khana is object, food, खाता हूँ is the verb, so it's SOV. So this is how it changes. In different languages it varies, but SOV and SVO are the most common. Yeah, and if you're solving linguistic problems, you'll probably get none of those. So just keep in mind. So as I was saying, the word order, we can write it simply as SVO. Rule. This is the derivation rule. You're not supposed to write it, of course. The particle appears before transitive sentences as object. And yeah, in a possessive construction, the possessor is placed before the possessed object. It's basically the SVO thingy. So yeah, now we've got some more statements. I've marked it. So L is he. We already know sees. Uh, Tu is your, casa is house, ella is she, ve is sees. Now we are see the ava again. Su is her, padre is father, yo is I, v ve o is see. Theo is your singular and libero is book. Now we've seen this. Okay. Now what do we find? First, our rule was that comes before transitive sentences object, of course. Yeah. But these two both are transitive. These two both are transitive. But in the second transitive one, there's no ah. So what do we think about it? Now, in linguistic problems, you don't have to think too complex. It's a very simple outlook which will help you most of the time. So, referring to the previous ones, we see that R comes when it's an animate object, which means it's living. So, this is not something you'll pick up instantly, but something you'll observe. So, usually these things come in either gender, animacy, and mainly these two only. So yeah, so you see that husband, him, and father is all animate male objects. So let's only focus for animate this time. But book, it's not an animate object, so no R comes. So yeah, so since we only have the data of people, that is him, husband, and father, we'll just take it as if O is equal to person, then R comes before this. And another thing we see is that when the verb is agreeing to a first person singular pronoun, it takes the prefix O. So we can simply write that if first singular, the prefix is O. And if it's third person singular, that is he and she, it's null morpheme. That is the null morpheme. Once again, it's a circle with a stick in between. This is the null morpheme. So yeah. So as we write the rules for this, it would simply be, yeah, if SVO possessed, we remove the particle A, and again if O is equal to person, add A before it, and the final rules are the same thing as before, and verb first singular prefix as O, and third singular null morpheme. So now ये homework for you guys. Yeah. So yeah, so you guys' homework is example task 1.4. So basically you have to find out an error in the in the sentence according to the rules you have. It's a very easy one. You can probably find it on your own. Just one little hint, don't be dumb like me and consider my father as one. Yeah, just refer to these rules and you'll very quickly, like in 1 second, you'll get to it. uh, if you wanna access the answers, the book's name is Linguistics Olympiad Training Guide, so you can refer to that. I'd suggest not to just cheat off the answers, because it's first of all not a good method of learning, and then there's, of course, you're not learning linguistics Olympiad problem solving then. So yeah, goodbye guys, I guess. And yeah, the link for this book will also be attached in the description, so don't worry. So that's it from me today, guys. Keep on practicing even though there's nothing to practice right now, and bye bye.